The clang of trays echoed through the mess hall, loud and harsh, colliding with laughter that felt cruel in the cold fluorescent light. Lieutenant Commander Elena Vos stood frozen for a heartbeat, the world tilting as a burly Marine shoved her sideways, sending her tray skidding across the floor. Rice scattered like fallen stars, a mess of white and heat. She caught herself against the edge of the table, cheeks burning, heart pounding. They thought they could humiliate her. They thought she was just another officer in training, someone easy to intimidate. They were wrong. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Lena's fingers trembled slightly as she righted herself. She felt the sting of embarrassment, but deeper still was the familiar fire that had been honed over years of training and relentless missions. She was not a target. She was a force waiting to be acknowledged, a force that had earned her stripes in battles few could even imagine. And in that mess hall, surrounded by junior officers and untested Marines, she was about to prove it. The Marine, tall and smirking, leaned closer. "Careful, Vos. Might want to watch your step." His voice dripped with mockery, the kind that could make weaker men crumble. Around them, murmurs rippled. Fellow officers avoided eye contact, unsure whether to intervene. Some whispered quietly, others just stared. Elena's gaze swept across the room. Dust motes floated lazily in the streams of sunlight filtering through the high windows. She could feel the tension in the air, the silent challenge pressing against her spine. Every instinct she had ever learned kicked in, not to strike, not to retaliate recklessly, but to observe, to wait, to measure. Control, Elena. Always control. Just as the Marine prepared for another shove, the entrance of the mess hall shifted the energy. 4 figures strode in, silhouettes framed by the sunlight behind the glass doors. Generals, distinguished, composed, their presence slicing through the room like a sharp wind. Heads turned. Conversation stilled mid-word. Even the smirking Marine paused, caught off guard. Elena's breath caught not out of fear, but recognition. She had fought beside some of these men in the past, survived missions they had personally overseen, missions that had tested every limit of her body and mind. She thought she'd never see them here. She was wrong. They stopped in unison, scanning the room. Then, to the shock of everyone present, each general snapped to a crisp salute. Their eyes, serious yet tinged with respect, fixed on Elena first before any other officer, before any of the Marine men who had been mocking her moments earlier. The hall went silent. All eyes followed Elena. Whispers erupted like a tide of realization. She's someone important, someone respected. The Marine's jaw fell slightly. Embarrassment and sudden awareness flooded his expression. He had no idea. No idea that the quiet, precise officer he had pushed was someone whose skill, courage, and experience had earned not just rank but reverence. Elena straightened, her chest rising in slow, measured breaths. She allowed herself a small nod to the general's acknowledgement of mutual understanding. No words were necessary. The room knew what had just shifted. Respect had been earned, silently, undeniably. A young ensign muttered under her breath, "She's credible." Elena's thoughts flickered back to countless nights in field operations, the moments when a single decision had meant life or death. She had survived storms, explosions, and betrayal land. Now she was surviving something far more ordinary, yet no less testing. Human arrogance. Humility and power must coexist. Today, both are on display. The Marine stammered, I didn't know." His voice trailed off, swallowed by the weight of realization. The general's eyes softened slightly, as though acknowledging that discipline was being taught without a word, through presence, composure, and earned respect. Elena knelt briefly to gather the fallen tray, lifting it with the quiet dignity that had earned her countless commendations. The generals watched, approvingly, as though each small motion was a demonstration of the character behind the rank. The hall's atmosphere shifted fully. Where moments ago there had been mockery, there was now awe. Where arrogance had led, humility and earned authority now stood. Fellow officers began to murmur quietly, glancing at Elena with new eyes. Some straightened. Others bowed their heads. The lesson had landed. Finally, the generals moved forward, each speaking in turn, their voices low yet commanding. Lieutenant Commander Vos, one said, "Your presence here sets the standard for discipline and excellence." Another added, "Your courage and composure exemplify the leadership we expect at every level." Elena allowed herself a small, respectful nod. Her pulse slowed, the adrenaline of confrontation giving way to satisfaction, not vengeance, but recognition. She had not needed to strike, to yell, or to assert herself physically. The weight of her achievements, her reputation, and her unwavering poise had done that for her. The Marine lowered his eyes, shame and understanding mingling in equal measure. He would never forget this lesson. Nor would the others in the mess hall, the junior officers who had witnessed it all. Respect, Elena knew, was earned in moments like this, often without a single word spoken. Because true authority is quiet. It does not boast. It does not demand. It waits. It observes. And when the moment comes, it asserts itself with undeniable clarity. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. The mess hall slowly exhaled. Plates were reset, trays gathered, conversations resumed, but something in the air had shifted irreversibly. Elena walked to the exit, tall, calm, every step a reminder that true strength lies not in bluster, but in integrity, skill, and quiet command. Somewhere in that sunlight-filled hall, the lesson lingered. Underestimate her, and you will learn respect the hard way. Thank you for listening to this story from Whispered Words. If it moved you, comment below where you're watching from, like the video, and subscribe for more incredible tales of courage, authority, and humanity. Your next story is waiting, don't miss it.